Hello and welcome back to the Finance Spark, the place for you to spark your financial mindset. Aristotle says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act but a habit." And while that is true, the opposite is also true. We are not what we repeatedly do not do. And nowhere is that more true than in the expenses we choose not to spend money on that do not help us save money and become wealthy. In this video, we're going to look at 7 expenses that, if you avoid them, will help put you on the road to building your financial abundance. Ready? Let's go! The first expense to avoid is expensive formal education. When you look at the success stories of the world's wealthiest people, you'll see that formal education played a minor role in their financial success. Amazingly, roughly 1/3 of the world's rich are college dropouts. Their ambitions go beyond getting a piece of paper and into a much more appealing vision. I don't want to discourage anyone from pursuing a university degree, but the truth is that formal education is often just a means to be bound to a desk in the name of your employer. You'll be confronted by the ugly truth that the piece of paper you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on was never a ticket to the financial independence you may have hoped for. While college graduates spend nearly 20 years of their careers repaying debts, the rich are often already economically successful long before. Even when it comes to their children's education, they don't spend money on expensive private teachers. Instead, they expose their children to more useful skill sets and opportunities for gaining knowledge. In the long term, these contribute the most to their financial abundance. TV entertainment and video games are the second expenses to avoid. According to billionaire experts, a major thing affluent people don't waste their money on are media entertainment and video games. The general rule is to spend no more than 60 minutes a day in front of the television screen, as opposed to the average of 5 to 7 hours per day most of us do. Many studies have found that there is a high association between household total wealth and the TV consumption rate. Richer households, those with a net worth of $75,000, recorded a significantly lower TV time duration, and thus more time being productive. Most people choose to pursue meaningful endeavors, such as reading powerful novels or focusing on their businesses, rather than watching television programs. Excessive video games and TV consumption will only waste your energy and money. Besides, how do you expect to succeed financially when all you do is zone out on your couch? You might be shocked by the third expense. Avoid expensive cars and costly travel. You may have assumed that, aside from traveling business or first class, all rich individuals drive the most luxurious cars. Well, most of them don't. They are often spotted driving basic cars, no different than what the rest of us drive. When asked why he preferred to drive a standard Acura TSX that costs roughly $30,000, Mark Zuckerberg's response was that it is a secure, comfortable, and practical car. If you ask me, this is an incredibly rational and truthful perspective when it comes to automobile ownership. Most individuals only see the aesthetic worth of car ownership, unaware of how much it will cost them in the long run. Owning a fancy car comes at a high maintenance expense, increased anxiety levels, and societal expectations. Why would you spend more than 10% of your earnings on a car that depreciates? According to research done by Experian Automotive, 60% of billionaires drive Fords, Toyotas, and Hondas. You shouldn't be astonished to see a millionaire driving a cheap or maybe even an old car, unlike most people who cave to societal pressure. If you like learning about techniques to improve your financial outlook, then be sure to subscribe to Finance Spark, where we post videos every week to help you spark your financial mindset. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button and smash the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video. The fourth expense on the list to avoid is fast food. Another typical expense that the wealthy avoid is the constant overconsumption of fast food, whereas the average person can't seem to avoid eating it almost every day. Those who are rich like to eat in more affordable ways. You'd imagine a millionaire would walk into a restaurant and order lunch for everyone or rent out the whole place. Even the wealthy utilize discount coupons to save money, and they will make a fuss if a restaurant overcharges them. They prefer buying groceries as a better option than eating prepared foods at a restaurant. Rich people also have a tendency to connect themselves with a healthy and balanced way of living. Number 5. Avoid purchasing luxury products. The fifth expense that most millionaires and billionaires avoid is acquiring luxury products, such as extravagant dress codes and fashion fads that would drown the average employee in a mountain of debt. Yes, we need clothes, but does that mean we need to spend a significant portion of our income on high-end designer labels every month? The fact is that wearing trend-setting branded sneakers that will most probably tear in a few months does not necessarily impress the rich. If you don't believe me, consider Steve Jobs' renowned dress code. Most people can't grasp why Apple's founder wore basic trousers, a black turtleneck, and the same footwear for years, while owning the most successful computer company in history. Rich people recognize that value always outweighs a price tag, which is why they are incredibly frugal with their spending. This is also the reason billionaire Bill Gates keeps wearing a $10 Casio watch to public events, and Michael Bloomberg has worn the same pair of loafers for a decade. And they aren't the only ones. Billionaires can own the most basic items because the more money you make, the more you realize the value of the things you own. Why would you spend money on shoes every month when a single pair lasts over a year? Also, if you work really hard to earn your money, why would you put forth all that effort only to waste it away? In number 6, avoid debt installments. The sixth expense that all wealthy people avoid are debt installments. This includes any additional costs related to repayment plans. I am not implying that debt is your largest financial adversary. Rather, debt is a tool that the rich frequently use to become wealthier. While this is true, not all debt is the same. While Elon Musk is sitting comfortably with millions of dollars in debt, other people are being devastated by college debt and expensive mortgages. Rich people rarely use excessive numbers of credit cards, vehicle loans, and bank loans. That is, unless the investment they are purchasing can boost their overall income. Without a strong financial plan, debt payment is an expense that might severely damage your financial life and potentially obstruct your path to financial success. Because, like many forms of trouble, debt is very simple to get into but complicated to get out of. Let's consider the case of Chad, a college graduate. How long does it take an average graduate to return a $26,900 student loan? According to the Department of Education, this can take up to 20 years, which is roughly 5 times the length he spent in college. This debt will almost certainly have acquired a lot of interest over the years. He will be repaying far more than he originally borrowed. This is why affluent people avoid debt whenever possible, and, if they must, they ensure that they will have a clearly defined financing technique. In fact, when it comes to debts, Warren Buffett said, "If you're smart, you'll make a profit." The last expense to avoid is costly real estate. This may shock you, but another expense that wealthy individuals avoid is having numerous pricey and elegant residences. This statement contradicts the extravagant properties that celebrities flash on social media. But in reality, the rich are exceedingly cautious when it comes to home ownership. Even though they live in extravagant mansions, you will find that these houses weren't acquired at current values. And even if they were, the values don't come close to that individual's net worth. Because, let's face it, buying an expensive house in an elite neighborhood is a destructive approach to wealth generation. This is why you'll find that the number of millionaires living in houses valued at $300,000 or more is relatively low. If you're financially aware, you're already familiar with the fact that by living in a $1 million house or neighborhood, you are opting for an expensive lifestyle that may jeopardize wealth generation. To get one's money's worth and ensure that the property increases in value through time, wealthy individuals always seek out the best deals on property purchases through carefully planned investment moves. They will buy a house for a low price in a desirable neighborhood, then wait for its value to increase over time. so they can flip it for a large profit. It's no surprise that Warren Buffett has lived in the same property since 1958, and it has virtually tripled in value. This is contrary to those who take enormous risks with their money. And that wraps it up for this video. Do you have any other expenses you'd recommend avoiding to increase wealth and financial abundance? Share them in the comments below. Also, if you like this video and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see all the videos we'll be putting out over the coming days, weeks, and months. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And remember, always keep sparking your financial mindset.